Let's play, and it went back. Is it good?
Okay. You're
Okay,
good.
looks like we're good.
You're good.
Okay, so welcome. We're hoping that this is mostly a discussion on your part, rather than you just listening to us speak. So let's look at that agenda and just have you guys kind of take it away for a minute. Reflect back on 2019 and what went well for you, what obstacles did you face. Let's just have a little share out for a moment.
Well, I think everybody was in a workshop this summer, some as leaders, some as hosts, some as interns. So, well, I'm not sure. Rachel, I'm not sure if you led a work or if you did a workshop this summer. Or not. You did
Both workshops that I was supposed
very good wait time
to do did not. Yeah, both workshops were supposed to didn't happening for all of the leaders and assistant leaders.
Okay.
Well, I can say that we ran out of time. I don't know whether that was true for everybody, but in our computational modeling workshop that we had in Phoenix, which was 13 days long, it wasn't enough. So at the end, we were doing less activities and doing more things in teacher mode. So this coming year, we're going to do a 15-day workshop. We're hoping that will address the problem.
Anybody else want to weigh in?
Well, I had a great time this summer. There were some really good hosts in Boston that set up a castle workshop for me. Mm-hmm. And I had a smaller group than I would have liked, but they were really enthusiastic about it, and I had a lot of fun, and I felt like I learned a lot leading them. And I did well enough, I guess, that they're inviting me back next time. So.
Nice. Are you going to do castle again?
No, mechanics.
Mechanics. Okay. Ariel's shaking her head. Okay, open your mic.
Jeremy's a pain. Jeremy. I feel like all in all, the Chemistry 1 workshop in Boston ended up being a success. I'm still in touch with a whole bunch of the participants. Just send them an email out actually after the host webinar last week. Got some good feedback from people, including saying, I'm so sad that I just found this now. This is likely my last year in the classroom. I'm going straight to an administrative position. But because he's going to be an administrator, we're hoping that he'll send more of his participants. He's from New York and is going to send them up to us in Massachusetts. So that was exciting.
Yes,
that's good.
And where in New York? Because we were trying. Oh no, that was going to be a Chemistry 2 workshop in Finger Lakes somewhere.
Oh no, I don't remember where Jacques is from. I want to say closer to the city, but
I thought he was somewhere in Manhattan.
Yeah.
No.
That's good. We like to have the New York City teachers in modeling workshops.
Okay, anybody else? Earl?
Yeah, I had a dozen teachers in Kansas in a modeling chemistry workshop. And it was one of the few workshops that we had the participants actually pay a fee for. which was minimal, but it kind of, I think, improved the quality of teachers that participated. They were people that really were anxious to learn about modeling, and a lot of them had heard a great deal about it already before, so they were just really looking forward to a workshop. And the workshop was 2 weeks, and so we had to skip some things, but all in all, I think they've got what they wanted out of the workshop.
Have they stayed in touch?
Yeah, I've had some communication during the school year. In fact, just this week, they're asking about what semester do you use, and so yeah, and they've posted messages to each other throughout the semester.
Right?
Excellent.
Well, I can speak to my workshops my workshop at Cal Poly this past summer. Probably the best group of teachers I've ever had in a workshop.
Nice.
Yeah, it really was. It just was the right, even though it was a physics workshop, it was the right chemistry of people, and they just, it was amazing. I mean, I can't really even put a finger on exactly what it was, other than they were complete sponges, and there were a lot of people that had a lot of things to add, and it just was, it was a wonderful experience. So the day would typically get extended anywhere from 1 to 3 hours beyond the scheduled time, just because people would be in early and then they'd stick around, and we'd be having all kinds of conversations that were related to what we were doing. And yeah, that was really a lot of fun. So like I said, nothing specific to point to, other than it just really worked.
So are they good hosts?
Yeah, they're very good hosts. They are.
This is the third, fourth workshop at least that you did there. So this was,
I think maybe number seven, maybe, or 6 for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're on again for next summer. So maybe the 6th, if I go back and count. We skipped 1 year in there, so we did just physics the first summer, and then the next 2 or 3 summers was they also had chemistry and biology modeling.
Yes. Yeah.
With it, and now we're back to Brenda just doing chemistry, not just doing chemistry, but it's just chemistry and physics that are happening now.
Excellent.
So the bar is high. I told them they have to get the same quality of participants now going forward.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, right.
well, you can get the same people coming back, because the previous ones were chemistry 1 workshops, and this are physics 1, and now you're doing a second semester physics. So
yeah, right. Yeah, very well. Yeah, I've had quite a few people that have, because I've done another second semester physics there in the past, and I had quite a few people that returned, and actually this summer there were 2 people that had been in the very first workshop I did there that wanted to come back and just kind of get a refresher. So it was fun to see them again as well. Yeah, so it was a great group.
Final thoughts from anybody?
I was interning at the Castle Workshop in Arizona, so it was kind of my first time with all of this, but it was really cool to be on the other side, not just a participant, but to step in a leadership role. I don't know if I have anything specific. It was just really cool to see it from the other side.
Okay. Any big takeaways?
The biggest thing for me was realizing not all teachers who teach physics work through this stuff as fast as I do. And so I slow down with my students, but it was harder to slow down with other teachers, which is kind of weird.
It's different working with what you normally consider your colleague.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And I think that just leaves Teresa or Rachel, if you want to say anything. Teresa says no. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I was just saying that I was supposed to intern at 2 different or co-teach at 2 different workshops this summer, and they didn't have enough participants. So I didn't go and co-teach at them. So I was pretty bummed that I was supposed to do one in Evansville, Indiana, and then also out in Massachusetts, actually. So I didn't get that opportunity. So hopefully it will work this summer.
Okay, yes, hopefully.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that brings up is there a role for leaders and co-leaders in promoting workshops? And I know that Teresa and Ario are not just workshop leaders, but they're also hosts. And so to what extent do you guys think that maybe, and Jeremy too, you host workshops in Cleveland, right? So is there a role for workshop leaders to promote the workshops that you're going to have them lead?
I think it's hard. The answer is absolutely yes. But I also think it's hard if you're not connected to either in social media or even in the same state. So while I know that we definitely promote throughout Massachusetts, we promote other workshops. I know Jeremy promotes our workshops here, but I also imagine that it's really hard when we're just not in the same states, and not everybody is going to be flying from, Cleveland to Boston for a workshop. So I think if you're more local, I think you might have more of an impact than if you are across the country. Not that people don't come. We've had people from California and DC and Louisiana and Texas in ours, but that's not, I think, the norm for most workshops.
Mm-hmm.
I have to invite somebody. Sorry. He's not able to join. Just keep on talking.
Okay. Shoot.
Well, and I think, as a workshop leader, I certainly want to get a good number and quality of people in my workshop. Mm-hmm. So if there's something that I can do, by promoting that workshop, then I would certainly want to. I want to do whatever is needed to get a high quality workshop that I'm running. And also, it's a thing that I believe in. And so why wouldn't I want to share that with everybody obnoxiously over and over and over again?
Sure, of course.
Until they cut me out of their lives because I won't stop talking about it.
Well, but I don't know. So I'm just thinking about workshops that I have been to, and I want to say if Larry Dukrich told me to go to a workshop, I would take that. I would rate that a lot more highly than if I just read an ad for a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm a current modeler, right? So Larry's opinion about a workshop has meaning to me. But I don't know whether that applies in this situation, because a lot of our workshops are for people who know nothing about modeling or they don't know modeling teachers.
Well, an example of what Colleen was just saying, somebody who took the chemistry workshop at my school 2 summers ago did it. She wasn't involved in modeling at all, but she asked online, like Erica Postuma and some other people, okay, I can either go to the BCCE conference or I can take this modeling workshop. What should I do? And everybody said, take the modeling workshop. So she did. And so, so I guess Erica is somebody else's Larry.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it's just the word of mouth thing, and we all know different people, right? And so I'm going to tell people that I know that, yes, this is worthwhile, and you're going to tell people and maybe they're going to go to your workshop, or maybe they're going to go to someone else's. I don't know. I just feel like, as you say, Jeremy, there's we want our workshops full of people who are eager to learn. So how do we help workshop hosts make that happen?
Ooh. You can sign up for the calendar that Teresa shared earlier in the year and promote at conferences. So go to conferences, talk it up. I think Teresa and I, when we've done presentations, yes, at national conferences, but even at local conferences, we get tons of feedback saying, oh, this is interesting. And especially because we're in the classroom. So when Teresa and I go as STEM Teachers Mass Bay, we have a lot of cred because we're full-time teachers. We are not, we left our classes today to be here at the Massachusetts Association of Science Teachers Conference to do these presentations and to do this. And definitely people are interested. And I've gotten at a very fancy schmancy private school that I've done presentations at for the New England Association of Chemistry Teachers, I got emails say, hey, we are interested in modeling. Can we come visit your classroom? So those are ways that leaders can promote. So if it's just for hey, the workshop you're teaching at the summer, maybe there's only so much you can do, but in general for promoting workshops, yeah, promote, talk it up with your colleagues, talk it up with your people in social media and whoever else you know.
Yeah. And if you go to conferences, you can get Wendy to send you some of those nifty little I'm a modeler ribbons.
Where do I
And it may sound hokey, but people want them. They see you and they with your little ribbon on your badge, and they say, "Oh, where did you get that? Can I have one of those?" You're an instant.
I have a whole
popular.
wall of conference badges.
Those
Most of them
ribbons
have the modeler ribbon on them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Ooh, there's all my ribbons.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all.
Yep.
Colleen, I like that question. It goes along with some conversations Wendy and I have had about, it always stinks when, and as Rachel knows, when a workshop gets canceled. And, sometimes even in cases where, like for distance learning, maybe the enrollment numbers are kind of low, but there's still teachers interested in wanting to provide experiences for them. And, they're committed to the professional development. But I do think that leaders and hosts need to work exceptionally hard to make these workshops happen. And then in certain cases, I'm a big fan of hosts and leaders trying to work together to find out a way to even offer the workshop when numbers are maybe somewhat lower than expected. But, everyone's got, financial obligations and kind of their tolerance of what they will and won't do. No.
Yeah.
No. Go away, please. Bye. Bye. Get out. Sorry.
The pizzas haven't arrived yet?
Right.
I just can't listen to it. I'm sorry.
No.
That's as mean as I get.
You need a door on your office, Bill.
I need to just lock this. So I appreciate you asking that question, Colleen, and kind of I had to step away for a moment, but just hearing you all talk about that. But that kind of your role, Wendy, if you scroll down a little bit, your role as a leader and some of that stuff you defer, and it's the host, it's up to the host. But Wendy and I often talk about what we hope that you all do, what we would like you to do, but we don't know if you do it. The biggest thing is, like, Wendy ran some numbers last year with a workshop, and I think sometimes people think the AMTA is pulling in a lot of money on the workshop, and that couldn't be further from the truth. I think the number was AMTA got about 6% of the money that came in. And that's going to vary by workshop and cost. Most of the money that comes in goes right back out to leaders. And so we really need and want our leaders to be, on the forefront, like be the spokesperson, be the cheerleader for AMTA, especially, knowing that distance learning courses are a good thing for us. And obviously we rely heavily on membership. And we have a coach. We were talking to her the other day, and she was asking a question along the lines of how many people very openly talk about AMTA and promote AMTA for what it's done for their own teaching. And we definitely have a number of teachers that do, but what we hope is that all leaders are really actively promoting what modeling instruction has done for their careers, for their science departments, for their students. And that would make a world of difference, because as Colleen was talking about just a moment ago, like word of mouth. You know, even though we're an organization that's grown, we still rely heavily on word of mouth.
Are there any, sorry, it's Renee, I just jumped in.
Hi, Renee.
Are there any of us that don't do that though? Because I know Tanea and I try desperately to get the rest of the science department to join in. And I know that every workshop we've gone to, we are like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And I know I'm late, but the other thing I was wondering, can't we set a standard fee and require that sponsors also pay travel?
Oh, you mean set a
have to do
fee
the
for leaders?
negotiating?
Do you mean set a fee for leaders, Renee?
For the workshops themselves. So like, for example, I might be presenting in Maine,
Right.
and I might be getting $3,000, but no travel included. So is there a way that we can kind of set that this is what's expected, or is it workshop to workshop?
So we do suggest a stipend for workshops leaders of $1,500 per week, plus
Right.
travel, housing, and a per diem. But
Okay.
that's what we suggest. And I know the
Okay.
situation over there. I know the situation in Maine. And so it varies. It varies by workshop site. It varies by workshop host. And we had a conversation yesterday with one of the people in the room right now that, you know, sometimes if you can take a pay cut, or if you would be fine by taking a pay cut, we can have the workshop. If not, we may have to cancel the workshop. So those things happen. That happens. So yes, there are guidelines. No, we cannot enforce them.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and ironically, one of the places that it is probably one of the biggest violators of our guidelines is Arizona State University, where modeling instruction was born. They are paying workshop leaders what they paid them 20 plus years ago.
Wow.
And it is unfortunately physics department policy.
Oh,
And
awesome.
this is all the physics department will pay, and, you know, like it or lump it. And somehow by hook or by crook, Jane Jackson has always been able to persuade leaders to take
do
the
it.
lower wage and
Right.
do the workshops. But it's extremely unfair to leaders.
It is.
And any new host, anyone who comes to AMTA and says, we want to host a workshop, we tell them you pay, workshops have 2 leaders and you pay them $1,500 a week plus expenses.
Okay.
So we are not failing to advocate for you, but we can't make them do it because, you know, that's
Everyone's
not
got
the
their own
business
set of
model.
circumstances.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it would be a great idea.
And you know, Wendy and I, this is the thing. We hope that you all are doing that. But we don't know. And there's a lot of leaders out there, right? There's just a small group of leaders right now. But you know, you're the ones that are the experts in the room. You're the ones that these new modelers are working with. So you know, we need your voice. And we really, I think, want, and I may even be reaching out to you soon for some quotes, but we really want people to be more active in saying, wow, I did this thing and it really did transform the way I teach, or the way I think about science, or how I talk with my students, or how I engage with STEM colleagues, and whether that be through conferences or social media. But we need you. We need your support, and we need you to teach these, not just new teachers, but returners. I renew because this is why it's important that I renew, because we continue to be a small nonprofit organization that relies on its members, and knowing that our members are teachers. Giving is not thousands of dollars at a time. It's little bits. Little bits are great, and we appreciate the little bits. But I made this statement in Columbus 2 years ago at our conference. If every member would just give $25, what we could do with that number? It's a lot of money.
How many members are there in the organization?
There's about 2,500.
Yeah, just under
2,500.
2,500.
Yeah.
We elementary education, earth science, tweaking what we have. I mean, there's so many things we could do. So membership recruitment, membership renewal, retainment, it's all very important. So we just wanted to say that to you. Wendy and I, we work on many things and wear many hats, and then Colleen is not officially employed, but you can ask Colleen on a different night all of the things that she's continues to do for AMTA. We're trying hard, and we need help. So, Wendy, do you want to say anything about that? I'm sorry, as you're talking.
I know I cannot, I cannot eat whatever.
Can't talk and talk.
So I can't talk and talk now.
Type and talk.
Yeah.
Yes, well, or people who have had, or people who have received a free membership in the past, if they can be encouraged to renew a membership.
Yeah.
That would be just so important for the organization. We give away free memberships, hundreds each and every summer, and our membership numbers do not reflect that. So encouragement to renew is encouraged.
Yeah. And appreciated. Yeah.
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 So with that being said, we started last year providing a couple of intro and outro slides.
Those were awesome.
Well, thanks. Thank you. I can't say that I did it myself. People helped on that. But here's what we're hoping is just knowing that there's a little bit of consistency with certain things between workshops. We know that teachers love autonomy, but just to spend a few minutes educating these attendees on certain things. We're probably going to add a few this year, especially over, I don't know what they'll officially be called, but along the lines of equity, diversity, and inclusiveness. And I have a couple of experts that are going to help me out with those slides. But we want workshops to not just be so focused on the traditional thing, and we start here and we move here and we have to get through all this material, but including where appropriate things like diversity, because that's important, and it's really who we teach, right? And I mean, it's doubtful that anyone in your workshop is teaching in a homogeneous classroom. And so we're going to try to provide a few more slides. I hope that you all found value in them and that you use them. We'll send them out again and maybe an additional one or two to help. We don't want it to affect your workshop negatively or take away from anything. We just want all participants to have similar exposure when it comes to certain things.
Can I jump in here and tag onto that? Bill and I are writing an article And it is going to involve collecting some data from leaders. So you will be receiving a survey link from us, probably on OMOD, but maybe on a direct mailing from through eWebLife. And please, you're really going to help us out if you take a couple of minutes and answer this survey. It's on equity, diversity, and inclusion. So, and just issues that leaders face. So also, if you have ideas about issues that leaders face that relate to equity or diversity or inclusion, please contact me.
And if you're wondering about that, take 10 minutes and go read the M2M article post by Tanea and Ariel. It's on our website. And I think that may, you may find that of interest. And I know a lot of other teachers have, and they've made comments on it. So, but thank you. I mean, thanks, Colleen, for adding that. Obviously, and if you know other leaders, please encourage them to also fill out that survey if they're not in the room right now.
Yeah, the more data we have, the more punch the article will have when it comes out.
Yeah. A little bit of that consistency between workshops, and then and I don't want to spend much time on it, but just saying, please make sure that you all are familiar with the website, both the public and the private, but just guiding people where to go to find the instructional resources. We know that sometimes it's not intuitive and the easiest website to work with, but it's what we have. And as leaders, you all should know where to find the materials that you're using for your workshop. So just be sure that you peruse. Also, there's been things added. Recently, I put up connections of modeling instruction to NGSS, modeling instruction to 21st century learning skills. Those are things I put in there, a link that you can download the PDF. That may be of interest to some of the teachers you have in your workshops. But one thing I'm hoping to also get up there, there's under the evolving and coherent storylines, we have like a simple unit for each discipline, but not for biology. So I'm hoping maybe some of our biology experts could help create that page and give me what they think is a good unit to put up there. So we have that to go along with the physics and the chem and the middle school.
What kind of unit?
So each of the storylines, there's like a sample unit, some of the materials from each. And so we really need to get one up there for biology, especially now that we have Mobilize, and we have versions of Mobilize, like updates. And I think I think it's the right time to get some biology up there.
Because we did put the storyline in the overview, I forgot what it's called, and I'm driving. The thing that lists each activity, and it has the NGSS there. It also has whiteboard meeting questions, and the storyline so far. I forgot what it's called, though.
Because you're on the phone, is that Tanea talking?
No, that's Renee. Renee.
Oh, that's Renee. Okay, sorry. So Renee, I may be sending you an email.
Okay.
And we could use that document.
Okay.
And then I need to convert that into some sort of web page that will be similar to the others, but include, like, I think, necessary information for people that are looking into it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wendy, and let's scroll. Okay, and then where are we at, Wendy? Sorry, the screen's going crazy. Is that where we are, Wendy, at the top there? You are our leaders?
I think so.
Equity, outro. And am I crazy? For the rest of you, does Wendy look like?
She's a little blurry.
Yeah, every time.
I think she must have some stickum on her camera thing at the top of her computer. She has schmutz on there.
No, yesterday I turned green yesterday too. I don't know.
Yeah, every time I look at Wendy, I see like the slow motion.
Right, she's been drinking.
Yeah.
I know.
Or
It's
we have.
it's
One of the
it's
two.
the hard stuff here. Yeah.
So Wendy, if you scroll down just a little bit beyond the website, and we get to the tasks for leaders, right there, explicit list. So we added some notes there. We got our slides. So Wendy wanted to pose this question to the group about this. Why do you lead workshops, or in some cases, why do you want to lead modeling workshops? Can you all just pop in with some thoughts on that?
Well, personally, I learn a lot from the participants, and that's the real motivator for me. You throw a bunch of like-minded people together for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever the case may be, and just amazing conversations. So I come away from every workshop, I feel like a better teacher from having worked with the teachers that were in my workshop.
I kind of agree with that too. I get so much from the presenters, from the participants. And also, I mean, it has so transformed my teaching that I want to share that with other people. I mean, I'm now teaching middle school instead of biology, but oh my God, it just completely changes how the whole classroom looks and how the students respond. And I want to make sure that other people know that.
I'll jump in. There's a variety of people who are responsible for training me in modeling, and I very much want to give that back. I will also say that I arrived at modeling mid-career. Prior to modeling, there were a couple times where I had scratched my head long and hard, said, hey, do I really want to teach for a career? And modeling was just a breath of fresh air.
Yep. Well, it's my way to keep teaching. I have been out of the K-12 classroom for a number of years, but I don't know. I get energy from people learning, and so it's just you know, I get to live vicariously. I'm ever mindful of the fact, however, that I'm becoming more irrelevant every year. Because I've been out of the classroom for a while. So, you know, I don't know. Goods and bads.
I could, sorry, I could piggyback from what I think it was Renee said. You know, I see the difference it makes for my students. I see the true excitement in the learning and the engagement in science that it takes place with them when they actually get involved in the conversations and have the debates with each other. And I know that modeling really makes a difference. And I want other teachers to have the opportunity, and others teachers, students to have those opportunities.
Yeah, and also agreeing with what Renee said, you know, I know that modeling instruction changed the trajectory of my career for the better. Thanks, Holly. I see you there. And you know, and I want to share that also, you know, like to do for other people what other workshop leaders have done for me. And then, you know, AMTA has just done a lot for me in terms of like going to leadership training, and, you know, meeting great people there. And every time I get involved with any kind of AMTA function, I grow as a teacher. And, you know, I just want to share that with everyone.
Jeremy, wasn't it you that had like a series of like 3 or 4 tweets earlier in the year talking about finding modeling?
I think maybe in response to something that Ariel had posted on Twitter. Like I remember talking about that a little bit. I think on a thread that Ariel had started.
Yeah, I read it and went back and read it again, you know, a second time because I was like, that's really good. I really like that. And I pointed to some other people that like go to your page and try to find it.
I'll jump in, and I feel like we're all saying the same thing, that it transformed our trajectory and our students, and we learn from the participants. But also, I find modeling is a way to connect with teachers who have been missing something. That we have found our people through modeling. The people who I've connected the most with, both as a participant and as an instructor, it's been, oh, I needed something, and this was it. And my best friends live around the country, and they're modelers. And it's teaching, even though you're with people all day, it can be kind of lonely. And we do this to build a community that supports each other and helps each other grow.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking as I was listening that it is so much about community. And, it's an opportunity to be with our people, not just, like Zoom with our people, which is great. And it's great to see all of you, but to actually be with our people and to bring new people into our, into our community. It's good stuff.
And that community building that happens in the workshops, that there's just, you watch people expanding and growing, and yourself too, and it's truly amazing to me, and that brings so much energy for me back into what I do in the classroom. I don't know if I would not be as excited about being a teacher if I didn't have those opportunities. And another thing that I think we've said we learn from our participants, but when I'm preparing for a workshop, and then when I have just finished the workshop, then when I'm teaching that back in my own classroom, the depth of teaching is so much greater than before I led a workshop.
Yep, it makes us better.
Just because I'm paying attention more, so that's also been a tremendous asset to it, in addition to agreeing with everything that everybody has said already.
You guys are making me feel really warm and fuzzy.
Aww.
Well, okay, so the reason I lead workshops, Bill, is because I love it when somebody's grumpy and doesn't pay attention and doesn't show up on time and doesn't want to work in groups. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Although it is fun when you turn those people around.
Oh yeah, but not fun at the beginning.
No.
No.
Bro.
And I'm sure everybody has had those people in the workshops, and sometimes you can convert them and sometimes you cannot.
Sometimes they stomp off and never return.
Yeah.
If you've already paid, it's okay.
Yeah, what the heck? I don't know. You can't
you
win
can't
them all.
keep them all. That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Any other final comments on that, if you haven't spoken yet?
Well, I was going to say that not only do I agree with everything everyone has said, because that speaks to how I feel as well, but it's even reached beyond my students and the participants within the modeling workshops out to those kids' parents, and the impact, doing modeling has had on them. They come into parent-teacher conferences and just talk about how their kids come home, talking about science more and how they're understanding concepts more that they didn't understand years ago when they took, science classes. So it's reaching beyond our kids and the people who are taking our modeling workshops as well. My administrators are so supportive and excited about modeling in the classroom that they're trying to get more and more of the teachers within my district involved in such things. And I had told Teresa that even though I didn't get to lead one of the 2 modeling workshops this summer, it opened up an opportunity for me to go out to a Project Lead the Way training. And I talked about how this modeling pedagogy fits right into what Project Lead the Way was trying to do with the energy and the environment workshop I went through for them. And there was people that wanted to try to make that connection as well.
Cool.
One more, if I could, and that is that when I have teachers in workshops where so for me it's physics, and they've been thrown into physics and that's not their field, and they're really scared and they're trying to get ready to go back into the classroom, maybe for the first time to teach physics. The walking away from, I just help this person with content, is somehow way more, it just matters way more than when students walk away with content. I'm not saying the student walking away with content doesn't matter to me. I'm just saying somehow when you just, you have a teacher walking away feeling relieved and excited and happy, and that teacher is going to impact how many students, I don't know, but that to me is just such a kick.
And we have a lot of out-of-field teachers at modeling workshops, especially at physics workshops. So you make an outsized impact in physics workshops, but to some extent in chemistry and biology too. I think you would all agree, and middle school. So yeah, content help is huge.
But to add on to what Holly says, to get back to the idea of community, even if one of us is not a content expert, what I love is that I can connect somebody to somebody who is. So if somebody is looking for physics, well, then I am going to I'll pass them to Jeremy. Or if they're bio, Tanae is one of the first people I reach out. In middle school, we have our list. I talk to Jess and Cole, and we know people, and we're not afraid to ask questions, and we help teachers not be afraid to ask questions and not know things. And poor Jeremy, he gets texts from me and Teresa all the time for physics help because it's not our area of expertise. And that willingness and openness to share and to talk about these things is something that's really special. And because I find modelers don't make other people feel stupid if they don't know something.
I still text Matthew when at least once or twice a semester and say, wait a minute, I lost this. I don't understand this. Can you explain it again?
I think that's one of the good things about leader training too. I know a number of you have been to our leader training, and you find your people there, right? You form a little pack of people that you get to know really well as you're becoming a leader, and you do stuff together, or you keep in touch and you reach out to each other. And I think that's one of the great byproducts of leader training. And I'm wondering if, for those of you that are old timers and didn't get to go to leader training, you just came up through the sort of apprenticeship model. Is there something you would like AMTA to do to connect you better with other leaders, or to, get you current on what is the, some of the newer discourse moves and some of the more current cognitive research and other things? Is there an interest in ongoing leader education?
I wonder if people would be interested in, I know we have the summer conference, but a leader, I don't know, conference.
Sure. A leader conference.
With a break or something. But maybe I'm the only person who.
I don't know. What do you think? Sounds
we're all
good.
in a room together. It's so amazing.
I mean, if you could do a pre-conference day for leaders where we, you know, updated training and connected and did some of these things, I'd happily pay an extra day of attendance fee kind of thing to have that opportunity.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yep. Just something to get you recharged.
Yeah.
And the only issue with doing it in the summer is because you've got the Friday, Saturday, Sunday locked up. But see, if you're leading a workshop, then you can't necessarily be there Thursday or Monday.
Right. So we need to do it on Martin Luther King Day weekend or something like that.
That's always the tricky part, is finding a good time of year to
Yeah.
get participation and find a good location. But I really love the idea of like a leader get together,
Yeah.
like almost like, you know, advanced leadership workshop. You can even look into something like that. But is there, of everyone on the call right now, I mean, not to, just out of curiosity, how many of you have not been to leader training? So I see John,
3, Matt,
Matt, and so most of us, sorry, most
And
of you
Earl.
have.
Earl, is
Yes.
Earl still here? Earl hasn't
yes,
been.
Earl
to-
is also, yeah.
Yeah.
So just a couple, and we know that there are other leaders as well that have never been to the, you know, official.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch.
But
The majority.
you know, for those of you, you know, I think, would it be of value? Would you want to put in the time to attend? Would you be willing, maybe not a full week, but maybe like a full weekend, doing something like that, like as Holly suggests? I think it'd be a great idea. It's just the tricky part's finding the time and place.
Well, and if we could find the funds, wouldn't that be nice? Like maybe get a conference grant from, they're not huge grants, but 50 grand would go a long way toward making it possible for a lot of people to come.
Is it something that we could maybe add on to our annual workshop or conference, modeling conference?
Anything is possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
To add it after to do it in conjunction with the conference this year.
Right.
I know in this case, Holly will be there. Holly will be at ASU, but she will be leading a workshop the day before and maybe the Monday after. So.
And so will I. So and
Yes.
that's true for a lot of people in the sun. It's just really hard in the summertime to find a time when people can be away for when this group of people, leaders, can be far away for a stretch of days.
But maybe surveying leaders, I guess for interest, but also, you know, do they have a fall break? Do they have, you know, like what kind of a winter break do they have? When is their spring break? You know, I imagine we're all over the place, but who knows? Maybe we all have a fall break at the same, you know, like a long weekend in the fall or something. Or maybe our school would be willing. I don't know. No idea.
Yeah. Well, I think a survey is a good idea. We should do that.
Definitely something to continue to look into and try to make this happen. So we're coming up on an hour, and we can very quickly point out that for SOAR, okay, and have I think a conversation at a later date about really why it's important and what we do with that data. Even though some of you may feel like it's a pain in the butt, it really is more than just a discount. We know that you like the discount, but it's more than that. So a conversation about that, and be on the lookout from Wendy about an invitation for a SOAR webinar. And yeah, one of those things, just don't
Probably
put it off,
closer to the time that they're going to use it though, right?
Yeah, because, you know, we obviously we want it to be fresh for you. And some people, I think, attend and they hear it, and then months later it's gone and they haven't thought a thing about it. And even though there's a user manual, I think that it's just something else to think about when they're trying to prepare for a workshop. So,
and I think we'll also have a separate webinar to give you some tips on how to analyze your data.
okay, so be on the lookout for that. And then the last thing I want to say, I mentioned earlier that we work with a fundraising coach, and they use this special lingo, and time, treasure, and talent, or another way would be work, wealth, and wisdom. And we appreciate what you do as leaders, and we know that some of you do some extra things for and on behalf of AMTA. But I just want to throw this out there that your experiences, your knowledge, your expertise in the field. We appreciate that when you're out there doing it, for pay and with these people in workshops. But also, we would love to get you in the books if you ever wanted to lead a module, and the topic can be anything that you want it to be. We have distance learning opportunities in the future. We have M2M, which I hope that you've all been on M2M, that you've seen some of the, probably up to around almost 20 articles by now, but that you're reading, that you can submit something if you'd like. It can be about anything. It can be from basic announcements to what you're doing with materials to what your students are doing in your classroom. It's just communication between, like we've heard multiple times tonight, community. It's just connecting with other mothers. But if you like, we know that some of you have worked many workshops over the years. You're getting paid those big bucks unless you work at ASU. But donations are appreciated. And that's not just always money, that's donation of time. And so if you've ever received a travel grant, consider making a donation. If you like what AMTA and Modeling Instruction has done for you, consider a donation. This is getting close to the busiest time of the year, but when we think about time, treasure, and talent, we need you in all three categories.
And if you like the podcasts, make a donation. Have you listened to the podcasts at sciencemodelingtalks.com? That's great, but it's a fledgling operation and it needs support. So talk it up, send the link to everybody that might benefit by that, and get them to listen. If Aunt Mildred would like to listen and then maybe give us a little donation, wouldn't that be awesome? I know I've done that with my kids, shameless. They expect it from me, but, here, look, there's a podcast. I made a podcast. Don't you like that? Okay, so you can give a donation then. Yeah.
We appreciate you all. And, thank you for giving up an hour of your time tonight to talk. And I really appreciate some of the things you shared about, why you lead and things that have been a success and obstacles for you. It's really good for Wendy and I to hear this stuff because we don't always hear it. And like I said, I think I will be reaching out to you. Wendy did take some notes, but I will be reaching out to ask for very, cleaned up, explicit quotes from you. Because I do plan on using them and I do think I'm going to be coming to Boston for NSTA, and I'm going to, I'll talk to Ariel and Teresa about that if you're in town. But it's going to be part of also an updated brochure using some updated teacher quotes and talking about the impact that modeling has had on your career. So this was a really great thing for me to hear tonight. Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay. And with that being said, I'm all done. Wendy, any final comment from you?
No, I think, the only thing that we did not address is the child care. We can move that to a next town hall. As Bill already said, Bill and Colleen said that we will have separate webinars about SOAR, and then more than only about setting everything up. I will be sharing the notes with everybody who was here. I will be sharing it with everybody who was not here, because I think they also need to see this. Some people registered and they may not have been able to join.
Okie dokie. It was great to see everyone.
Hey, have a great evening, everybody. Happy holidays.
Thank you too. Same to you.
Thanks. Good
Happy
night.
holidays.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, Wendy, I'll stop that recording, and I think when I click the button, it's going to end, right?
Bill?
Yes,
Wendy?
ma'am?
Do you guys have a second to talk about the E&M distance learning?
Yeah, yeah. Let me pause this recording.